Ladies and gentlemen, we're back into the gloom of the seas, as you can see in front of us. This is the Gimle battles. This is your Admiral, Eric, and we're back with a battle against Astraea. And she's built by DripWasTaken. So, here we have the Gimle as usual, and right here we have the Astraea by DripWasTaken. Oh, look at that. That's something I'm gonna add for the Gimle later. Adding the crams aiming to the sides so that they will have to go aim forwards. And that will delay it a few seconds, which will make sure that the shot is accurate. Anyways, here we can see we have a pretty high block count. But again, a very cool looking design. We have some azipods going on here. And we have something that looks like an interesting patchwork. I really feel we have taken into our hearts here my tip about only armor where you need to armor. However, I do feel like there should be armor where the spin block holds that. Yeah, I do think there should be some armor where the spin block holds up the what is it called? The azipods, right? Because if it's standing on a wooden tetra, if that gets destroyed, it's gonna get full of the entire thing. Anyways, here we have some pretty big. Ooh, that's some pretty heavy. And we have selective cram armor here. That's exactly something. That's exactly what I've done lately on the Gimle turrets and all the new turrets. It's so much better to have a selective armor and not armor all around. Anyways, we have an interesting bulk design going on here. Some different blast shields and interesting patchwork inside of here. I think that's pretty cool. So this is a very cram heavy design. Look at that. And we have a delay when it fired, it crams. And you can see they are indeed spot on. Bam! The Gimle was not able to take out those crams. Very interesting indeed. Alright. And there we see it. We have some lasers incoming. So the laser of the Gimle is still active. Look at that. Doesn't this look pretty beautiful, watching the laser burn in the sunrise like this? I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, DripWasTaken built a very cool looking design here. The battle is very equal so far. We have some extreme lag where the Gimle is taking some serious damage. Whoa, look at that. Okay, we lost a big cram turret. That explains the extreme lag there a second. So you can see that it wasn't the area holding up the cram. It was the actual turret block that got hurt there. Sometimes I wonder if the 1 meter turret blocks are actually better, because they are so much less likely to get hit. Oh. And I do hear the fire burning all over the place here. That's very interesting. So, 86 versus 75. No, 70. No, what am I saying? 84 versus 96 percentages. That's the stats right now. The Gimle has taken some. Oh, and the cram turret is also gone there. I must say, as always, I'm quite curious about where the arqueballistas goes. So we're just gonna see if they'll fire. They should fire every 10 seconds. Maybe the energy production is offline, and as we said that, we actually got an arqueballista shell. So we're just gonna move down to minimum speed here. See where this is going. Oh, look at that! The lambs were actually able to shoot it down. Alright, so the Astraea's lambs are then focusing its shots on APS shells, right? And it looked like it shot down that one too. Some pretty fast ones popping in there. Alright. $83 versus 95. Astraea, she's definitely in the lead here. We have some fires burning here and there, but man, it doesn't matter very much. Or man, does it? This is a pretty large fire. Ooh, I think... Look at that hole. Damn, that must be some fragmentation going on there. They spawned a pretty nasty fire there. Alright then. Where's the game speed here? We're basically at... Oh, no, we slow down to slow motion there. You can see that's pretty interesting. Alright. What is this then? That is the tiniest. Is this a heavy head? No. Is this... I just don't remember. I think it's a heat shell, perhaps. It remains to be seen. Right, so that's probably... it's a secondary heat, that's true. Oh, and there we had some tiny fragments. Okay, so it's a heat shell. That's an interesting combo. Isn't opting for one of them better? You can see the swarm here. It's gonna be interesting to see what's happening inside of here. They're not getting very much through, are they? I don't think they are getting very much through here. Yeah, they'll activate the era, of course, but I must say this seems like a particularly ineffective shell. Doesn't matter very much though, because the Gimle is down at 73%, and Astraea, she is still at 95. And since another cram turret has been lost on the Gimle, I do deem it quite unlikely that the Gimle will be able to fight back very much. So spending too much materials on offensive is never a good idea. But if you spend enough to deal with your particular enemy's incoming shells, well, then you have a pretty good chances of winning, of course. There is that. All right. Seems like the battle slowed down a little bit. I wonder... Do we have any hurt? They seem to be pretty okay. The Astraea is doing great. It's honestly doing super great. Look at that. Ooh, and we have proximity explosions there. That's very nice. Since that works nowadays, I'll need to set up that for the Gimle as well. To make close hits actually deal damage. Oh damn. Look at that, yeah. It still deals some damage, that's pretty epic. That was a pretty nasty hit just inside of it, look at that. Oh, alright, we have a damaged AI compartment right here. I believe that's gonna be very much the end for the Gimle. I don't think we'll be able to deal with this. And this incoming heat... Hesh heat swarm? Like, why? I mean, it does some damage, but... I think pure frags would be a better option, to be honest. But I don't know. I can't say that for sure, because it's like the Vigoletta marksman, who's pretty sad. I think it lost its barrel. Yeah, it didn't blow up. Poor thing. It doesn't have a barrel. That's why it doesn't fire. Anyways, it actually fires sabot frag shells, and I did rigorous testing. The narrow angle sabot frag shells are better than pure sabot at sandblasting, and that makes no sense whatsoever. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. And sometimes things doesn't make sense. You'll have to do your tests in from the depth and select whatever works. Even if people say something is better and something is not better, I don't know how many people who told me that the Gimle's armor scheme is not going to work, that it's too thin, it's too bulky, and yet it has won more than half of the battles we had it with. So, of course, there are always different ways to do armor. I think that the Gimle is somewhere in the middle of having that bulky wooden papier-mâché and having proper armor, because it has all the armor on one side. That's one bit, but yeah, a lot of people like to have heavy armor in the belt outside, but the Gimle does not, and that saves so much materials and weight. We have some selective heavy armor where it kind of matters a lot, but not all over the place. Anyways, good job by DripWasTaken. The Astraea is definitely winning this this battle here. Very nice indeed. But it's really slow, like the end of this battle here. It just drags out so much. Very interesting. I do think that we should go on to the next battle, because I feel as though the Gimle doesn't have the capability of fighting back very much anymore. We're down to despawn territory here. I kind of didn't notice this laser very much, if I'm gonna be honest. I wonder if that's connected up to the LEM system as well. Perhaps we didn't see it earlier on. Man, that's starting a lot of fires all over the place. How did I miss that? Did I just not pay attention, or what happened? Yeah, we'll have to see in the next battle, that's for sure. Poor Gimle. I'll check back in if something weird happens. Something weird didn't happen, and the Gimle is now despawning, and we're gonna go to the second battle. We're switching back to some simpler times, which is simpler graphics, because I thought the battle was a little bit slow at the end of it. And I just want to see if these arqueballista shells get through in the earliest second. Look at that. They did. Oh man. That's so cool. It never ceases to amaze me how far they go. They just went through. And the next turret? Man. The arqueballistas are of course not the best weapon ever or anything like that. It obviously just is a bit of a help. But it seriously has some serious crit chances. I'll have to give it that. Because you can clearly see that if it hits something sensitive, it can go through the first blast. Right, so now the laser is online here. Oh, one is red and one is blue, alright, and the Gimle's lasers are red, so I probably just didn't think of them. And they are also connected up to the same system like the lamps, I think, so it is a very cost-efficient way to do that. Oh, look at that! And here we have the little bridge area, and that has heat decoys. And now we're focusing all this firepower on this tiny sad little structure, and the Astraea's crews, they're just laughing their ass off. Alright, touché, that's yeah. Very smart, very smart. Here we have some example of some pretty strong armor here. So we got heavy armor in the outer belt. Nothing I would do. It's not all over the place, however, but section-wise, pretty large sections. But that's definitely gonna provide a pretty strong protection there. And we got some tetras. We have a pretty thin exterior layer going on there. Whoa. And I think where the crams bounce, it's definitely good to have that proximity explosion thing. All right. Man, this is seriously tanky. Seriously tanky. It is a one-sider, of course, as well. Like the Gimle, it utilizes the effectiveness of being one-sided. Facing one side to the enemy and being very good at doing that. Well, I think we're going to, whoops, just zoom down the world here and check out the Gimle, which is at 88%. I feel the Gimle is doing a little bit better in this battle. It hasn't lost a turret early on, which is of course a big bonus. Man, like the sound module is just having such a hard time rendering stuff. Bam, that was a very scary cram hit. Alright. So we got some serious business falling off there. I think maybe we should lock on to this thing here. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. We're just gonna see what happens here. Doing some of that nice slow action. Honestly, I just want to see if the lambs will be able to react to this thing, despite it being shot underwater. That's one thing where the Arquebalista probably excels. Firing shells underwater will make them well, all right. It just, so this is why it's good to have some 3D cram Tetris here, you know. Sometimes even that's probably an area where a dual barrel might be more resilient as well, because if you don't one shot like that might shoot something off. But honestly, it's probably not a good idea to try to armor against something like the Arquebalista. It's gonna get through. Just make it redundant instead. Just armor the things that really matter. You can't armor the entire ship against the Arquebalista, then you're reaching, like, if you've seen the battle with like the Stellarion or the Saturnus, you probably know what I mean when we're speaking of like too much heavy armor. And if you want to have that much, you're probably gonna get a similar cost to those ships, which is millions of materials more. I think one is like 60 million and the other is like 30 million. And we're gonna build a ship like that too for the army of Gmodism, because we just have to flaunt our glory. Yes, indeed, we will. Not that we're gonna have tournaments with this, man, because I can't even run those battles. That's just absolutely insane. All right. Lasers are lacing each other. It looks like the rear cram is dead. That's probably because the little AI compartment controlling this thing here in the back is probably dead. Astraea is at 94%. Yes, it's of course gonna win this, I think, because the Gimle is at 79. Man, we had a good couple of losses the last couple of battles here. That's pretty... So it feels like the Gimle wins several battles in a row, or it loses several battles in a row. It's never every other time like you would have expected. Very interesting indeed. I wonder how it's gonna go next week. Now I don't know when this video will be out exactly, but I will tell you this because now it's not yet. When I'm recording this, it's not yet the 30th of July. But the deadline for submitting or updating your existing ships to the Gimle battle is 30th of July. If you want more info on that, check the pinned comment, the hashtag game events thing in the Discord, and you'll see more about that. If you intended to update any of your designs due to the updates, you know, messing with stuff, or if you intended to submit something. That's good to know, but it might be too late. It depends, because I don't remember if there are enough weeks. Anyways, whatever. If that's applicable, you probably know. Well, watching the Gimle being very sad, I can see the marksman turret is falling off there. Anyways. Huge thanks to the commissioned officers in the army of Gmodism who are willing and able to support the channel every month, and I'm very thankful for that. So huge thanks to Admiral Scubrox, Commodore Owen, Lieutenant Anto, Cravey, Parva Greed, and Vincent Veritas. Also huge thanks to all our cadets and the ecclesiarchy of Gimodism, everyone who's in there. You'll see them with cool badges in the comment section, as that is joinable by YouTube members. Also, we have this option which I haven't really talked too much about, which is the Ministry of Gmodism. If you go to shop.gmodism.com, you'll find that option over there. A little bit fun. I'll talk about it more in the future, but you'll see most of the perks already set up there. Anyways, the Gimle has now entered despawn territory. You see what I did there to make this turret well look acceptable? Isn't that very nice? Anyways. It's a matter of seconds. Bam. Poor thing indeed. There we go. So, Astraea is indeed the stronger design. Congratulations from your Lord Admiral Eric to DripWasTaken. That's a win. And you're gonna be put in the winner's bracket, of course, and we're gonna be back next week for more battles. By the way, if you wanna get some Gmodistic merch, you'll have that at shop.gmodism.com as well, if that sounds interesting to you. In any case, huge thanks for watching. Like the video if you did enjoy this little video. I'll see you next time. This is your host, Eric, signing out from Gmodism. So bye bye.